The north is cold and full of whispers.
The tower stands alone in the Red Mountains, ancient, crumbling, silent except for the wind. 7 bodies lie in the courtyard, the finest knights of the King's Guard, dead. Their white cloaks stained red. Eddard Stark kneels beside them, 20 years old, covered in blood, ice, his Valyrian steel greatsword still in his hand. Beside him, Howland Reed, the only other survivor of the fight. Ned. Howland's voice is weak, pained. We need to go, before more Targaryen loyalists arrive. Ned doesn't move. He's staring at the tower door. She's inside. Lyanna. I can feel it. Then go, but quickly. Ned stands, climbs the tower steps. Each one feels heavier than the last. His heart pounds. At the top, a single chamber, a bed, and Lyanna Stark. She's dying. Childbirth has destroyed her. Blood soaks the sheets. Her face is pale as snow, but her eyes, gray Stark eyes, are still fierce. In her arms, a baby, tiny, wrinkled, dark hair. Eyes that haven't opened yet. Ned. Lyanna's voice is a whisper. You came. I knew you would. Ned rushes to her side, falls to his knees. Lyanna, gods, what did he do to you? What did Rhaegar? He loved me. Lyanna coughs. Blood flecks her lips. We loved each other. This wasn't rape, Ned. It was a choice. My choice. Ned stares. Can't process. You chose this. You chose to start a war. Father's dead. Brandon's dead. Thousands dead. All because, I know. Tears stream down her face. I know what it cost, but this child, Ned, this child is innocent. He didn't choose any of this. Ned looks at the baby. The child stirs, opens his eyes. They're not purple like Rhaegar's. They're gray. Stark gray. Lyanna's eyes. His name is Jon, Lyanna says. After Jon Arryn, he fostered you and Robert. He was good, kind. I want my son to be like that. Lyanna, I'll take him. I'll raise him as my own. I'll tell everyone he's my bastard. No one will know. He'll be safe at Winterfell, I swear it. No. Lyanna grips his hand. Her strength is fading. Robert, you need to tell Robert. Ned goes cold. Tell Robert? Lyanna, this child is Rhaegar's son. Robert hates the Targaryens. He'll kill him, just like he let Tywin kill Rhaegar's other children. Robert loved me. Lyanna's voice is urgent, desperate. He started a war for me. He killed Rhaegar for me. If you tell him this is my son, that I died bringing him into the world, he won't kill him. He can't. Not if it's mine. You're asking me to trust Robert Baratheon with a Targaryen child? I'm asking you to trust the man who loved me, who still loves me. Promise me, Ned. Promise me you'll tell him. Promise me you'll give Robert the chance to choose love over hate. Ned's throat tightens. And if he chooses hate, if he kills this child anyway, then you run. You take Jon and you run as far as you can. But give Robert the chance, please. Lyanna's eyes are closing. Promise me, Ned. Promise me. I promise. Protect him. Love him. Tell him his mother loved him. More than anything. She dies. The last breath leaves her body. Eddard Stark holds his sister's corpse and weeps. The baby, Jon, begins to cry. Ned stands outside the tower. He's wrapped Jon in Lyanna's cloak. The baby has stopped crying. He sleeps peacefully, unaware that his mother is dead, that his father's father murdered his other father, that the world wants him dead. Howland approaches. Ned, there are riders. Coming from the west, many riders. Ned's hand moves to his sword. Targaryen loyalists? No. I see the Baratheon stag. It's Robert. Ned's stomach drops. This is it. The moment of truth. He could run, could take Jon and disappear into the mountains, raise him in secret, keep the promise without risking the child's life. But Lyanna asked him to give Robert a chance, and Ned Stark keeps his promises. The riders arrive, dozens of them, Stormlands bannermen in yellow and black, and at their head, Robert Baratheon. He's 20 years old, tall, powerful, handsome, black hair and blue eyes. A warhammer strapped to his back. His armor is dented and bloodstained from the war. He dismounts, sees the bodies of the King's Guard in the courtyard. His face hardens. Ned, you found her. I did. Where is she? Where's Lyanna? Ned doesn't speak, just looks at the tower, at the window where Lyanna's body lies. Robert understands, his face crumples. No, she can't be. He runs, into the tower. Up the steps, Ned hears him scream, a sound of pure anguish, the sound of a man's soul breaking. Minutes pass. Robert emerges, his face is wet with tears. He looks like he's aged 10 years. She's gone, Robert says, voice hollow. Lyanna's gone, and I never got to tell her. He sits heavily on the ground, buries his face in his hands, sobs. Ned has never seen Robert like this, never seen the mighty warrior, the demon of the trident, reduced to this. Robert, there's something you need to know. What? Ned unwraps the cloak, shows him the baby. Lyanna died in childbirth. This is her son. Robert stares. Her son? Yes, Rhaegar's son. Robert's voice goes flat, cold, dangerous. That dragon bastard raped her and got her with child, and she died bringing his spawn into the world. Robert. Ned steps back, clutching Jon tighter. Robert, wait. I said give him to me, Ned. I'm going to do what Tywin did to Rhaegar's other whelps. I'm going to dash this thing's head against a wall. I'm going to... She loved him. The words explode from Ned. Robert freezes. What? They were together. This child is the product of that love. And Lyanna loved him. She died for him. Her last words were about protecting him, about making sure he survived. Robert's face goes through a dozen emotions: shock, disbelief, betrayal, rage, grief. You're lying, I'm not. I wish I was. But Lyanna told me herself. Before she died, she chose Rhaegar. She chose this. Ned's voice breaks. And it destroyed her. But this child is all that's left of her. The only piece of Lyanna that still lives. Robert stands, walks to Ned, looks down at the baby. Jon's eyes open. Gray eyes. Stark eyes. Lyanna's eyes. Robert makes a sound, somewhere between a sob and a gasp. He has her eyes. Yes. Robert reaches out, touches Jon's face with one massive finger. The baby grabs it, holds on, so small, so fragile. Robert's face twists. I can't. Ned, I can't kill him. He's hers. He's Lyanna's. And even though Rhaegar, he closes his eyes, tears stream down his face. What do I do? Ned, what do I do? Ned doesn't answer. This is Robert's choice, not his. Robert opens his eyes, looks at Jon again, at the tiny child who killed the woman he loved, the child who carries the blood of the man he hated most in the world. And Robert makes his choice. This boy is mine. Ned stares. What? This boy is my son, mine and Lyanna's. We were married, in secret, before the rebellion, before everything. She was pregnant when Rhaegar took her. And this is my son, my true-born son. Robert, that's not... It is the truth, because I say it's the truth. Robert's roar shakes the courtyard. I am the king. I won the throne. I killed Rhaegar. I ended the Targaryen line. And if I say this child is mine, if I say Lyanna was my wife, then that is what happened. Ned goes very still. You're claiming him. I'm claiming what's left of Lyanna. This child, he's all I have. I can't bring her back. I can't change what happened, but I can save him. I can give him the life she would have wanted. I can raise him as a prince, as my son. The realm won't believe it. Everyone knows Lyanna died in Dorne. Everyone knows you married Cersei Lannister after the war. A secret marriage before the rebellion. The child was conceived before Rhaegar took her. He's mine, my heir, my son. Robert's voice is steel, and anyone who questions it can face my warhammer. Robert, you're talking about lying to the entire realm, about hiding the truth of who this child really is. I'm talking about saving Lyanna's son, about keeping him alive, about giving him a future. Robert looks Ned in the eyes. Will you help me? Will you keep this secret? Will you let me do this? Ned thinks about Lyanna, about her last request, about the promise he made, give Robert a chance to choose love over hate. Robert has chosen, not the choice Ned expected, but a choice nonetheless. I'll help you. I'll keep the secret. This child is Jon Baratheon, your true-born son by Lyanna Stark, born of a secret marriage, and I'll swear to that truth until my dying day. Robert nods. Thank you, Ned. Thank you. He takes Jon from Ned's arms, holds the baby carefully, awkwardly. He's never held a child before. Hello, Jon. I'm your father. I'm going to keep you safe. I'm going to give you everything, and I'm going to make sure the world knows you're mine. Jon yawns, unimpressed. Robert laughs, a broken sound, but a laugh nonetheless. He's not afraid of me. Look at that. Already braver than most men I know. Ned watches Robert hold Lyanna's son, Rhaegar's son, the child who will grow up believing he's a Baratheon, the child who will never know the truth. And Ned wonders, have I done the right thing? Or have I just doomed this child to a different kind of death? Only time will tell. The greatest fortress in the Seven Kingdoms, massive, ancient, built to withstand the fury of Shipbreaker Bay. Storms crash against its walls day and night. Thunder, lightning, rain. Inside the Great Hall, Stannis Baratheon. He's 18 years old, lean, hard, his jaw already perpetually clenched. He's been holding Storm's End for Robert during the war. He's held it through siege, through starvation, through hell. And now the war is over. Robert is king. And Stannis is waiting to be rewarded with what is rightfully his. Storm's End, his ancestral seat, his birthright. The doors open, Robert enters. He's alone except for a wet nurse carrying a bundle. Brother, Stannis stands. Formal, correct. Welcome home. Stannis. Robert's voice is tired. Thank you for holding Storm's End. You did well. I did my duty. I know, and I'm grateful. Robert pauses. But I need you to do something else for me. Something important. What? Robert gestures to the wet nurse. She steps forward, unwraps the bundle. A baby. Dark hair. Gray eyes. Sleeping peacefully. This is Jon, my son. By Lyanna Stark. Stannis stares. Your son? She died giving birth to this boy, and now he's all I have left of her. Stannis' mind races. This makes no sense. Robert married Cersei Lannister weeks ago. How can he have a son by Lyanna Stark? But Robert is king, and kings can say whatever they want. I see. And you want? Can you do that? Stannis feels something cold settle in his chest. You're asking me to raise your son, your heir, at Storm's End. Yes, the Storm's End that should be mine. As Lord Stannis Baratheon, as your younger brother, Robert's face hardens. Storm's End belongs to the crown. I'm the king. I decide who holds it, and right now, I need it to be a safe place for my son. For Jon, not a lord, not the master of my own seat. You'll be compensated when I sort out the realm, when things are settled, but right now I need you here, protecting Jon, raising him, making sure he grows up strong and smart and ready to rule. Stannis looks at the baby, at Jon, the child who has just stolen his birthright without even knowing it. And if I refuse, because you're loyal, because you understand duty, you held this castle for a year under siege, you ate rats and leather to survive, you never broke, you never surrendered. This is just another duty, another command from your king. Stannis grinds his teeth, his jaw works, but he knows Robert is right. He won't refuse. He can't refuse. Because Stannis Baratheon always does his duty, no matter the cost. I'll do it. I'll raise your son. I'll make him a worthy prince. Good. Robert's relief is visible. Thank you, Stannis. I knew I could count on you. He hands Jon to Stannis. Stannis takes the baby awkwardly, stiffly, like he's holding a sword he doesn't know how to use. Jon opens his eyes, looks at Stannis, gray eyes meeting blue. He has Lyanna's eyes, Robert says softly. Her face, everything about him is hers, except his name. That's mine, Jon Baratheon, Prince of Storm's End. Stannis says nothing, just holds the child, the usurper, the thief of his birthright. Robert claps Stannis on the shoulder. I'll visit as often as I can. I want to see him grow, want to be part of his life. But you'll be the one who shapes him, who makes him into a man. Don't fail me, brother. I never fail. I know. That's why I'm trusting you with the most precious thing I have. Robert leaves. The wet nurse shows Stannis to the nursery, explains Jon's feeding schedule, his needs, his routine. Stannis listens, nods, takes mental notes. Because if he's going to do this, if he's going to raise Robert's son, he's going to do it perfectly. But as he looks down at Jon, at the sleeping child who knows nothing of the resentment he's created, Stannis makes himself a promise. He will raise this boy to be a prince. He will give him the best education, the best training, the best of everything. but he will not love him, he will not let himself care. Because this child, this Jon Baratheon, represents everything Stannis has been denied: Storm's End, recognition, reward. And Stannis Baratheon never forgets a debt, even one owed by an infant who doesn't know he owes it. Jon Baratheon, age 6, stands in the training yard. He's small for his age, dark hair falls into gray eyes. He wears simple training clothes, a wooden practice sword in his hand. Across from him, Sir Courtenay Penrose, a Stormlander knight, patient, kind, good with children. Remember, my prince, feet shoulder-width apart, sword up, guard your body. Jon nods, tries to copy the stance. His arms shake. The wooden sword is heavy for a 6-year-old. Sir Courtenay attacks, slow, controlled. Jon tries to parry, fails. The practice sword smacks his ribs, not hard, but enough to sting. Ow. Again. You dropped your guard. Keep it up. They drill, over and over. Jon's arms burn, sweat drips down his face. But he doesn't complain, doesn't cry. Stannis taught him that tears are weakness, and Jon will not be weak. After an hour, Sir Courtenay calls a halt. Enough for today, my prince. You did well. I got hit 12 times, and you got back up 12 times. That's what matters. Jon sheathes the wooden sword, bows to Sir Courtenay, heads inside. Storm's End is his home, the only home he's ever known. Massive stone halls, windows facing the bay, the constant sound of waves and thunder. He walks to the maester's chambers. Maester Cresson is waiting. Cresson is old, kind, white-haired. He's been at Storm's End for decades. He helped Stannis survive the siege, and now he teaches Jon. Good morning, Prince Jon. Ready for your lessons? Yes, Maester. They sit. Cresson opens a book, History of the Seven Kingdoms. Today we're learning about Aegon's conquest. Can you tell me who Aegon was? Aegon Targaryen. He came from Dragonstone with his sisters and 3 dragons. He conquered the 7 kingdoms and became the first king of Westeros. Very good. And what were his dragons' names? Jon hesitates. Balerion, Rhaegar, and Meraxus. Meraxus, yes. They study for hours. History, arithmetic, reading, writing. Jon absorbs it all. He's a quick learner. Cresson says he's one of the brightest students he's ever taught. But Jon doesn't feel bright. He feels different, separate. The servants call him my prince. The knights bow to him. Everyone treats him with respect. But there's a distance, a formality, except for Stannis. Stannis doesn't bow, doesn't call him my prince in that warm, affectionate way Robert does. Stannis is correct, cold. He checks on Jon's progress, ensures the maesters are teaching properly, ensures the knights are training him well. But he doesn't connect. Jon knows in the way children know things that Stannis doesn't like him, doesn't want him here. But he doesn't know why. After lessons, Jon goes to the rookery. He likes it there. The ravens are loud and messy, but they don't judge. They don't care that he's a prince. They just want food. He's feeding them when the door opens. Stannis enters. Jon straightens. Lord Stannis, you are a prince, the king's son. You will be held to higher standards than other boys. Failure is not acceptable. Those hard blue eyes studying every detail. Jon feels like he's being measured and found wanting. Your father is coming tomorrow. For your name day, he'll expect to see improvement in your sword work and your studies. Do not disappoint him. I won't. Stannis leaves without another word. Jon stands alone in the rookery. The ravens caw and flutter. Tomorrow, Robert is coming. The king. His father, Jon, loves Robert. Robert is everything Stannis isn't. Warm, loud, laughing. He brings gifts and tells stories and actually seems happy to see Jon. But Jon sees Robert maybe twice a year. The rest of the time, it's just Stannis. Cold, distant Stannis who does his duty but nothing more. Jon feeds the ravens, tries not to think about how lonely he feels, how different he is from other children, how he wishes he had brothers or sisters, someone to talk to who isn't a servant or a maester or a man who resents his existence. But princes don't get wishes. Princes get duties. And Jon will do his duty, just like Stannis taught him, even if it means growing up alone. The hall is decorated, banners, flowers, a feast table loaded with food. It's Jon's 6th name day celebration. The doors crash open. Robert Baratheon enters. 33 years old now, thicker around the middle than he was 6 years ago. His black hair has threads of gray, but he's still powerful, still commanding. Where's my boy? Gods, look at you. You've grown. You're practically a man. I'm only 6 years old today. Do you know what I was doing when I was 6? I was hitting my brothers with sticks and stealing lemon cakes from the kitchens. Robert sets Jon down, looks at him seriously. How's your training? Stannis been working you hard? Yes, father. Sir Courtenay teaches me swordplay every morning, and Maester Cresson teaches me reading and history and numbers. Can't just be a brute with a sword. Robert grins. Though being a brute with a sword has its advantages, Stannis approaches brother. Welcome to Storm's End. Stannis, thank you for keeping things running. As always. Robert's tone is friendly, but there's an edge. There's always an edge between them these days. How's the boy really doing? Don't sugarcoat it. He's progressing adequately. His sword work needs improvement. He's too hesitant. Pulls his strikes, but his studies are excellent. Cresson says he's gifted. Gifted. That's my boy. Robert ruffles Jon's hair. Smart like your mother. She was always reading, always asking questions, drove her brothers mad. Jon's ears perk up. You knew my mother? Robert's smile falters. Just for a moment. I did. Lyanna. She was the most beautiful woman in the 7 kingdoms. And the bravest. She could ride better than most men, fight better than some. And she had a heart as big as the world. What happened to her? The hall goes quiet. Servants stop moving. Stannis' face is unreadable. Robert kneels, looks Jon in the eyes. She died bringing you into the world. It wasn't your fault. Never think that. She loved you. She wanted you to live, and she'd be so proud of the boy you're becoming. Jon nods. He's heard this before, but it never quite makes sense. How can someone love you if they'd never met you? Do I look like her? You have her eyes, her face. Everything about you is her, except your name. That's mine. Robert's voice is rough. You're all I have left of her, Jon, and I'll be damned if I let anything happen to you. He stands, claps his hands. Enough sadness. It's a name day. Bring out the gifts. Servants rush forward. They carry a chest. Open it. Inside, a warhammer. Small, child-sized, but real steel, not wood. Jon's eyes go wide. Is that for me? Damn right it's for you. A Baratheon warhammer for a Baratheon prince. Start learning young. By the time you're grown, you'll be able to crush a man's skull in one blow, just like I did to Rhaegar Targaryen on the trident. Jon picks up the warhammer. It's heavy, but he can lift it. Barely. Thank you, father. I'll practice every day. I promise. Good boy. Robert turns to Stannis. See? He's got the spirit. He just needs to be pushed. Don't coddle him. I know. That's the problem. Robert's voice drops. Serious. Look, I know this isn't easy, raising someone else's son, giving up Storm's End for my sake, but you're doing a good job. Jon's growing up strong. And when he's older, when he's ready, I'll make sure you're rewarded properly. Stannis' jaw clenches. I don't need rewards, I need what's mine by right. And you'll get it. Just be patient. Give me time to sort out the realm, to make sure Jon is secure. Then we'll talk about Storm's End. We've been talking about Storm's End for 6 years, and we'll talk about it for 6 more if we have to. Robert's voice rises, then he catches himself, lowers it. I'm not trying to cheat you, Stannis. I'm trying to protect my son. Can you understand that? Stannis looks at Jon, at the boy holding the warhammer, trying to swing it, struggling with the weight. I understand duty. I'm doing mine. You do yours. Robert watches him go, sighs. Your uncle loves you, Jon. He has a hard time showing it. Jon doesn't know what to say to that, so he just nods. The feast begins. Music. Dancing. Jon sits at the high table with Robert. They eat. Robert tells stories about battles and wars and all the enemies he's crushed. Jon listens, absorbs every word. His father is a hero, a king, a legend. And someday Jon will have to live up to that. Somehow, he's just a 6-year-old boy with a warhammer he can barely lift, and a mother he never knew, and a guardian who resents him, and a father who visits twice a year. And that's his life. That's all he knows. That's all he thinks he'll ever know. Jon is 9 years old. Taller now, stronger. He trains 4 hours a day with Sir Courtenay and other Stormlander knights. The wooden swords have given way to blunted steel. He's good. Not great. but good. He stands in the yard, sparring with a boy 2 years older. The boy is bigger, stronger, but Jon is faster, smarter. The boy swings. Jon dodges, counters. His blade taps the boy's ribs. "Point to Prince Jon," Sir Courtenay calls. The older boy glares. "You got lucky." Again, Jon says, calm, controlled. The way Stannis taught him, if you want to prove it was luck, go again. They circle. The boy attacks. Aggressive, angry. Jon stays defensive. Waits for an opening. There, the boy overextends. Jon sweeps his legs. The boy falls. Jon's blade is at his throat before he can recover. Yield. The boy spits. "I yield." Jon steps back, offers his hand. The boy ignores it, storms off. Sir Courtenay approaches. "Well done, my prince. You're learning patience. That's good. Many knights are all aggression and no thought. You're not like that." Stannis says aggression without planning is just suicide with style. He's right, as usual. Sir Courtenay hesitates. "My prince, there's news. From King's Landing, a raven arrived this morning." Jon's heart speeds up. What news? The queen has given birth. A son, Prince Joffrey Baratheon. Jon goes very still. A son, Robert has another son, a legitimate son from his marriage to the queen. "I see. Lord Stannis wanted you to know. He's in his solar. He asked to speak with you." Jon nods. Head's inside. His mind is racing. What does this mean? Robert already has him. Jon, his son by Lyanna. But now there's Joffrey, son of Cersei, the queen. Stannis' solar is sparse, functional. Maps, books, no decoration, no comfort, just duty. Stannis sits at his desk, writing. He doesn't look up when Jon enters. "You heard. Yes, Lord Stannis. The queen had a son, Robert's second son. Or, depending on how you look at it, his first legitimate son by his current marriage. Jon understands the implication. Am I still? He sent a raven making it clear. You are still Prince Jon Baratheon. Still his son. Still legitimate." Stannis sets down his quill, looks at Jon. But now there's another prince, another heir, and the realm will wonder who comes first. The son from the secret marriage to Lyanna Stark, or the son from the current marriage to the queen? Who does come first? Legally? You. If Robert's claim about marrying Lyanna before marrying Cersei is true, then his marriage to Lyanna predates his marriage to Cersei, which makes you the elder son, the primary heir, but politics is not the same as law. Joffrey is the son of the queen. He's raised in King's Landing. He'll be groomed for the throne. The Lannisters will push for him. And the Lannisters have gold and armies and influence. Stannis' voice is flat. You're here, in Storm's End, away from court, away from power. You're Robert's son, but you're also inconvenient. What should I do? What you've always done. Train, study, become stronger, smarter, better. Because if the day comes when the realm must choose between you and Joffrey, Stannis' eyes are hard. You need to be the obvious choice. Not because Robert says so, but because you've earned it. I'll work harder, I promise. Good. Dismissed. Jon leaves, walks through the halls of Storm's End, his home, his prison, the only place he's ever known. He thinks about Joffrey, his brother, half-brother, rival. He thinks about Robert, his father, the king, the man who visits twice a year and brings gifts and tells stories but doesn't actually raise him. He thinks about Stannis, the man who does raise him, who teaches him, who makes him stronger, but who never smiles, never shows warmth, never acts like Jon is anything more than a duty. And Jon makes a decision. He'll be the best, the strongest, the smartest. Not for Robert, not for Stannis, but for himself. Because he's Jon Baratheon, Prince of Storm's End, son of a king and a woman who died bringing him into the world. And he will not be inconvenient. He will not be second. He will be first, or he will die trying. Jon is 10 years old. He stands on the battlements watching the storm. Rain lashes the stone. Thunder shakes the walls. Lightning splits the sky. He's alone. He likes it here. The violence of the weather matches something inside him, something restless, hungry, footsteps behind him. Stannis approaches. He never announces himself, just appears. You'll catch a chill. I'm fine, Lord Stannis. You're standing in a storm without a cloak. That's not fine. That's foolish. Stannis hands Jon a fur-lined cloak. Your father is coming. Next week. He's bringing news from King's Landing. Jon's heart lifts. Father's coming? Why didn't you tell me? I'm telling you now. He wants to discuss your future, your training, where you'll be when you come of age. What does that mean? Am I leaving Storm's End? Perhaps. Perhaps not. That's for Robert to decide, not me. Stannis looks out at the storm. How old are you now? Fighting boys twice my size, learning to take pain without flinching. Your training has been adequate, but adequate won't make you exceptional. I train 4 hours a day, sometimes 6, make it 8, then 10, push yourself until you can't lift your sword, then push harder. Stannis' voice is flat, emotionless. You have a rival, Jon, Prince Joffrey. He's being raised in the capital, being groomed to rule. Every advantage is his. The only advantage you have is that you can choose to work harder than him, to be better than him, will you? Jon meets his eyes. Yes. Good. Dismissed. Stannis leaves. Jon stands in the rain, thinking. Joffrey, his half-brother, the other prince, the other son. Jon has never met him, never even seen him, but he hates him anyway. Hates what he represents. Competition. Threat. The possibility that Jon might not matter. Jon makes a fist. The rain runs down his face like tears. He will be better, faster, stronger. He will be everything Stannis demands and more, because Jon Baratheon does not lose. Robert arrives with an entourage, 50 men, wagons, gifts. He's gotten fatter, his face is red from drinking, but his smile is genuine when he sees Jon. There's my boy. Gods, you're tall. What are they feeding you? Rocks? Jon grins. Ser Courtenay says I'm growing like a weed. Good. A Baratheon should be tall, should be strong. Come here, let me look at you. Robert grabs Jon's arms, feels the muscle, nods approvingly. You've been training. I can tell. How's your sword work? Better, Ser Courtenay says I'm one of the best students he's ever had. Best isn't good enough. You need to be the one everyone else measures themselves against. Robert's voice is serious, urgent. Listen to me, Jon. You're my son, my heir. But there are people in King's Landing who want that to change, who want Joffrey to inherit instead of you. Why? Because Joffrey is the Queen's son. Because the Lannisters have money and power and they want a Lannister on the throne. Because politics is a fucking nightmare and everyone wants something. Robert sits heavily. I won't lie to you. This is going to be hard. You're going to have to fight for your place. Prove you deserve it. Show the realm that you're the better choice. By being a warrior, a leader, someone men want to follow. Robert leans forward. I'm making changes. To your training. To your education. I'm bringing in new teachers. Better knights. I want you learning everything. Swordplay, strategy, politics, how to read men, how to inspire them, how to destroy them when necessary. Jon nods. I'll learn. I promise. I know you will. You're Lyanna's son. You have her fire, her courage. Robert's eyes get distant, sad. She would have loved you so much, would have been so proud. What was she like? Really? Robert smiles. She was wild, fearless. She could ride like the wind, fight like a knight. She didn't care what anyone thought. She lived fully. And when she loved something, she loved it with everything she had. Did she love you? She was betrothed to me. We were supposed to marry. But he trails off. Things happened. War happened, and I lost her. But I have you, and that's enough. It has to be enough. He stands, shakes off the melancholy. Enough sadness. I brought you something. Come on. They walk to the courtyard. A horse stands there, massive, black, powerful. A destrier, a war horse. Jon's eyes go wide. Is that? His name is Storm, because he was born during the worst tempest Storm's End has seen in years. Fitting, don't you think? The Storm Prince needs a storm horse. Jon approaches the horse carefully. Storm snorts, stamps, but doesn't shy away when Jon touches his neck. He's magnificent. He's dangerous, temperamental, difficult, just like his rider will be. Robert grins. Start training with him. Learn to ride in battle. Learn to fight from horseback. A knight who can't ride is just a man with a sword. Thank you, Father. I'll take care of him. I know you will. You take care of everything. You're responsible, dutiful, just like Robert stops, just like you should be. That night there's a feast. Robert drinks, tells stories, laughs too loud. Jon sits beside him, absorbing every moment. Stannis sits at the far end of the table, silent, watching, his face unreadable. After the feast, Robert pulls Stannis aside. Jon watches from the shadows. He shouldn't eavesdrop, but he does anyway. "I'm reassigning you," Robert says, "to Dragonstone." "What?" "Dragonstone, the ancestral seat of House Targaryen. I need someone I trust to hold it, someone loyal, someone who won't turn it into a nest of traitors and spies." And Storm's End goes to Renly. He's 16 now, old enough to hold a castle, and he's more suited to it, more diplomatic, better with people. "You're giving Storm's End to Renly, the seat I've held for you for 10 years, the seat I defended during the siege, the seat that is mine by right as your second brother. It's mine by right as king, and I'm giving it to Renly because I need you at Dragonstone, because Renly can manage the Stormlands better, because never respected what I've sacrificed for you, for this family." Stannis' voice is ice. "I held this castle, I raised your son. I've done everything you've asked, and my reward is exile to a rock in the sea. It's not exile, it's a command. You'll have a fleet, you'll be master of ships, you'll have power and position, and I'll have what you deign to give me, as always." Stannis turns away. "When do I leave?" "Within the month. And Jon stays here, with Renly. He needs to learn charm, politics, how to win people over. You've taught him discipline and duty. That's good, but it's not enough. Renly will teach him the rest, as you command your grace." Stannis walks away. Robert watches him go. Sighs. Stubborn bastard, never happy, never satisfied. Jon steps out of the shadows. "Father?" Robert turns. "Jon, you heard." "Some of it. Lord Stannis is leaving." "Yes, and Renly is coming. Your uncle Renly, you'll like him. He's everything I wish I could be. Charming, beloved, good with people." Robert kneels. "Stannis has been a good guardian. Strict, hard, but good. He's made you strong. Now Renly will make you something more. He'll make you a leader people want to follow, not just obey. Do you understand?" "I think so." "Good. Now get some sleep. Tomorrow we hunt. I want to see what you've learned." Jon goes to his chambers, lies in bed, stares at the ceiling. Stannis is leaving, the man who raised him, who taught him, who never smiled but always made sure Jon had the best of everything. And Renly is coming, a stranger, an Uncle Jon has never met. Everything is changing, and Jon doesn't know if that's good or terrifying. Probably both. Stannis stands in the courtyard. His belongings are packed. His men are ready. Ships wait in the harbor to take him to Dragonstone. Jon approaches. "Lord Stannis." "Prince Jon." They stand in awkward silence. Stannis is not a man given to sentiment, and Jon has learned not to expect it. "Thank you," Jon says finally, for everything, for teaching me, for making me strong. I did my duty, nothing more." "It was more than duty. You could have given me to nursemaids and maesters and never looked at me twice. But you didn't. You made sure I learned, that I trained properly, Jon's voice cracks, that I became someone worthy of being a prince." Stannis looks at him, really looks at him. For the first time in 10 years, something almost like warmth flickers in those cold blue eyes. "You are worthy, not because of your birth, not because Robert claims you as his son, but because you work, you push yourself, you don't make excuses." Stannis' voice is rough. "Remember that. When things get hard, when people question your right to exist, remember that you earned your place, not through blood, through effort." "I will. I promise." "Good." Stannis turns to leave, then stops. "Jon, one more thing. The world is not fair. It does not reward virtue or punish vice. It simply is. You will face injustice, betrayal, pain. When you do, don't whine about it, don't complain. Just endure, and find a way to win anyway. Is that what you do? Every day of my life." He walks away, gets on his horse, rides to the ships, never looks back. Jon watches him go, feels something twist in his chest, not quite grief, not quite relief. Something in between. Stannis was never kind, never warm, but he was constant, reliable. And now he's gone. Hours later, new ships arrive, and Renly Baratheon comes to Storm's End. He's 16 years old, tall, handsome, black hair and green eyes. He wears fine clothes, moves with easy grace, smiles at everyone. He's nothing like Stannis, nothing like Robert. He's something else entirely. Jon, Renly dismounts, opens his arms. My nephew, gods, look at you. Stannis wrote that you were a serious little thing, but you're just a boy. A handsome one at that. He hugs Jon, actually hugs him. Jon doesn't know what to do. Stannis never hugged him. Robert did, but only when drunk and maudlin. Thank you, Uncle Renly. None of that Uncle Renly business, just Renly. We're family, no need for formality. Renly grins. I've heard so much about you. The Storm Prince, training day and night, serious as a septon. Well, that's about to change. I'm going to teach you something Stannis never could. What's that? How to have fun. Everything has changed. The castle is brighter, warmer. There are more feasts, more music, more laughter. Renly has brought color and life to Storm's End in a way Stannis never did. And Jon is different too. He still trains, still studies. But now he also learns other things. How to dance, how to tell a joke, how to charm a room full of lords, how to make people like him. Renly is a master of it. He can walk into a hall and within minutes everyone is his friend. Everyone wants to please him. Everyone wants to be near him. It's not about being the strongest, Renly explains, or the smartest. It's about making people feel good when they're around you, making them think you care about them, making them want to help you because it makes them happy. Isn't that manipulation? Everything is manipulation, Jon. The question is whether you're good at it or not. Renly grins. Stannis manipulated you too. He just did it with fear and duty instead of charm and friendship. Which do you think works better? Exactly, you're learning. Renly claps him on the shoulder. You have Stannis's discipline, Robert's strength. Now add my charm to that and you'll be unstoppable. A prince everyone loves and respects. That's the goal. Jon trains with new knights, men Renly brought from the Reach and the Stormlands. They're good. Better than good. They push Jon harder than Ser Courtenay ever did. Jon learns to fight with different weapons. Sword, axe, spear. He learns to ride storm and mock battles. He learns to command men in the field. He's 11 now, tall for his age, strong, quick. The castle knights whisper that he's a prodigy, that he fights like a man twice his age, but Renly teaches him something more important than fighting. He teaches him politics. Every lord in the realm is picking sides, Renly explains one night. They're in the Solar, maps spread before them. Some support you, the Stark Baratheon alliance. The Stormlands, probably the Vale and the Riverlands. Others support Joffrey, the Lannisters. The Reach, maybe. Dorne, who knows. Why does it matter? Father is still alive. He's the king. He decides who inherits, for now. But Robert is getting fatter, drinking more, whoring more. He won't live forever, and when he dies, the realm will split. You versus Joffrey, Storm versus Lyon, and the realm will choose based on who they think will be the better king. How do I make them choose me? By being better, not just in battle, in everything. Be the prince people want to serve, the prince they can imagine on the throne, the prince who inspires loyalty not through fear but through love. Jon absorbs this. Stannis would say fear is more reliable than love. Stannis is on a rock in the middle of the sea with barely any friends because everyone fears and respects him but no one likes him. Is that what you want? No. Then learn to be loved. Learn to make people smile. Learn to remember their names and their children's names and what matters to them. Learn to be the kind of man they die for not because they have to, but because they want to. Jon nods, takes notes, memorizes every lesson. At night, he practices. He talks to servants, learns their names, asks about their families. At first it feels false, manipulative, but then it starts to feel real, because the servants smile, because they seem genuinely happy that he cares. And Jon realizes this is power, different from a sword, different from a crown. But power nonetheless, the power to make people love you, to make them follow you, to make them believe in you. By the time Jon is 12, he's transformed. He's still disciplined. Stannis' training didn't go away, but now he's also charming, friendly, approachable. The servants call him the Storm Wolf, a prince who has the northern seriousness of a Stark and the southern warrior spirit of a Baratheon, a hybrid, something new. Renly watches with pride. You're going to be a great king someday, Jon. Better than Robert, better than any of us. I can feel it. You really think so? I know so. You have everything. Strength, intelligence, charm, honor. The only question is whether you'll get the chance to prove it. What do you mean? Renly's face goes serious. Rare for him. I mean, the Lannisters won't give up power easily. I mean, Queen Cersei sees you as a threat. I mean, there are people in King's Landing who would rather see you dead than see you crowned. Then what do? You survive, you grow stronger, you build alliances. And when the time comes, you take what's yours. Jon grips the pommel of his sword. I will, I swear it. Good. Now come on. There's a feast tonight, and I promised the cook we'd actually show up on time for once. They go to the feast. Jon sits at the high table, talks to the lords, makes them laugh, makes them feel important, makes them remember why they swore loyalty to House Baratheon. And in the shadows, a servant watches, takes notes, sends a raven north, to King's Landing, to Queen Cersei. The message is simple. The Storm Prince is becoming dangerous. He is beloved, skilled. Everything Joffrey is not. Action must be taken, soon. Jon is 12 years old. He's in the Great Hall, a feast celebrating the harvest. Lords from across the Stormlands are present. Renly sits at the head of the table, charming everyone. Jon sits beside him, doing the same. Wine flows, food is plentiful, music plays. Everyone is relaxed, happy. Jon reaches for his cup, hesitates. Something about it looks off. The wine is darker than it should be, thicker. He remembers Stannis' words, trust no one, question everything. Assume everyone is an enemy until proven otherwise. Jon sets down the cup. Renly, don't drink. Renly looks at him. What? Don't drink. Something's wrong with the wine. Jon, you're being paranoid. Humor me. Renly frowns but sets down his cup, signals to a guard. Bring me the steward who served this wine. A man approaches, young, nervous, sweating despite the cool evening. You served this wine? Renly asks. Yes, my lord, from the cellars. As always, which cellar? The north cellar, where we keep the good vintages. Renly's eyes narrow. We don't have a north cellar. We have an east cellar and a west cellar, but no north cellar. The man goes pale, tries to run. Guards grab him, pin him down, search him, find a vial in his pocket, small, glass, filled with clear liquid. Renly takes it, sniffs. His face goes hard. Tears of lice, a poison, tasteless, odorless, kills slowly, looks like a natural illness. The hall erupts, shouts, gasps, lords reaching for weapons. Renly raises his hand. Silence falls. Take him to the dungeons. I want him questioned. I want to know who sent him, who paid him. Everything. The guards drag the man away. He's screaming, begging, swearing he doesn't know anything. Renly looks at Jon. You saved my life. How did you know? The wine looked wrong, and Stannis taught me to trust my instincts. Thank the gods he did. Renly stands, addresses the hall. My lords, an attempt has been made on my life and the life of Prince Jon. This will not stand. I will find who ordered this, and they will pay in blood. The lords cheer, shout their support, swear vengeance. But Jon sees something else. He sees fear in their eyes. Because if someone tried to kill the Lord of Storm's End and the Storm Prince, that means war is coming. And no one wins in war. The would-be poisoner hangs in chains. He's been questioned, harshly. His face is bruised, bloody, but he's talking. Renly and Jon stand in the shadows, listening. I was paid, the man gasps. Gold, lots of it, enough to buy a ship, to disappear. Paid by who? Renly's voice is ice. I don't know, I swear, I never saw a face, just a messenger, wore a hood, spoke in whispers, said it was from King's Landing, said the queen wanted the Storm Prince dead, said if I succeeded, I'd be rich, if I failed, I'd be killed. Renly and Jon exchange a look. The queen, Cersei Lannister. Anything else? Renly asks. The messenger said there would be more attempts, that the queen wouldn't stop until the prince was dead. That he was a threat, that he had to be eliminated. Renly nods to the guards. Take him back to his cell. We'll deal with him in the morning. They leave the dungeons, walk through the castle, silent. Finally, Jon speaks. She wants me dead. Because I threatened Joffrey. Yes. What do we do? Renly stops, looks at Jon seriously. We send word to Robert. We tell him what happened. We demand justice. And we prepare for war because Cersei Lannister just crossed a line, and there's no going back from this. Will Robert believe us? Will he punish his own wife? I don't know. Robert loves Cersei about as much as he loves a case of the pox. But she's the mother of his children, of Joffrey and Myrcella and Tommen. He might deny it to keep the peace, to avoid conflict. Then we protect you ourselves. We double the guards, we test every meal. We trust no one who isn't sworn to us. And we train you to survive. Because, Jon, you need to understand something. From this day forward, you're not just a prince, you're a target. Every meal could be poisoned. Every stranger could be an assassin. Every smile could hide a blade. Good. Renly grips his shoulder. You're 12 years old, you should be playing with wooden swords and chasing girls. Instead, you're learning how to survive assassination attempts. That's not fair. That's not right. But that's the reality of being a prince in this realm. Stannis said the world isn't fair, that it doesn't reward virtue, that I just have to endure and find a way to win. Stannis was right. As usual, Renly manages a weak smile. Come on. Let's get you to your chambers. And from now on, I'm posting guards outside your door. No one enters without my permission. Clear? Clear. They walk through the dark halls. Jon's mind races. The queen wants him dead. His father's wife. Joffrey's mother. She sees him as a threat, as an obstacle, as something to be removed. And she won't stop. The poisoner said as much. There will be more attempts, more assassins, more danger. Jon touches the pommel of his sword, a real sword now, not wooden, not blunted, real steel, sharp, deadly. He's 12 years old, and someone just tried to kill him. His childhood, such as it was, is over. From now on, every moment is survival, every day is a battle, every person is a potential enemy. Jon Baratheon, the Storm Prince, the boy who has everything and nothing, is no longer a child. He's a warrior. A survivor, a threat. And he will not die easily. Robert Baratheon sits in his chambers, reading a letter. His face is red, not from wine, from rage. Ned Stark sits across from him. He's come south for a visit, arrived just in time for this. They tried to kill him, Robert says, voice shaking. They tried to poison Jon, my son, that he was paid by someone from King's Landing, that he claimed it was the Queen's orders. Cersei. Robert crumples the letter. That Lannister bitch tried to murder my son. You don't know it was her. The assassin never saw a face, never had confirmation. It could be someone trying to frame her to cause conflict between you. Or it could be exactly what it looks like. Cersei trying to clear the path for Joffrey, trying to eliminate the competition. Robert stands, paces. I should have seen this coming. Should have known she'd do something like this. She's a Lannister. They don't share power. They hoard it. And Jon threatens that. What are you going to do? I'm going to confront her, demand the truth, and if she's guilty, Robert's hand moves to his warhammer. I'll deal with it. Robert, be careful. Cersei is the queen, the mother of 3 of your children, technically. If you accuse her publicly without proof, it could tear the realm apart. The Lannisters won't take that quietly. I don't care. Jon is my son, my heir. No one threatens him, not Lannisters, not anyone. Robert's eyes are hard, determined. I need to bring him here, to King's Landing, where I can protect him, where I can watch over him myself. Is that wise? If someone in King's Landing wants him dead, bringing him here puts him in more danger, not less. Or it sends a message that Jon is under my personal protection, that anyone who harms him answers to me directly, that I'm not hiding him away in Storm's End anymore. I'm claiming him, publicly, undeniably. Robert, think about what you're doing. If you bring Jon to King's Landing and name him your heir over Joffrey, you're choosing between your sons. You're declaring one legitimate and one less legitimate. That creates a succession crisis, civil war, brother against brother. Jon, I is my heir. He's my firstborn. From my first marriage, legally, morally, he comes first. But politically, the realm knows Cersei is your queen. They know Joffrey is her son. They've been told Jon is from a secret marriage. But do they believe it? Or do they think he's just a bastard you legitimized? Ned's voice is urgent. I'm not saying you're wrong to protect Jon. I'm saying you need to be smart about it. Don't rush into a decision that could destroy the realm. Robert sits, deflates. Then what do I do, Ned? How do I keep my son safe? You investigate, quietly. You find out who really ordered the assassination. You gather evidence. And when you have proof, real proof, you act. Decisively, but not rashly. You're right, as always. Fine, I'll investigate. I'll be careful. But Ned, if I find out Cersei tried to kill Jon, there won't be enough Lannister gold in the world to save her. I know. Unaware of the storm brewing in the Red Keep, unaware that the Game of Thrones has just escalated, that the stakes have risen. That war is coming, not today, not tomorrow, but soon, and when it comes, the realm will burn. Jon is 14 years old. He stands in the training yard facing 3 knights simultaneously. Real swords, real combat, no holding back. The first knight attacks. Jon parries, spins. His blade finds the gap in the man's armor. Not deep enough to kill, just enough to wound. The knight yields. The second and third coordinate. Attack from both sides. Jon doesn't panic, doesn't rush. He moves like water, flowing between their strikes. His sword is an extension of his arm, natural. Deadly, he disarms the second knight, trips the third, both yield. Renly applauds from the gallery. Magnificent. You're better than most knights twice your age. Jon sheathes his sword, breathing hard but not exhausted. I need to be better than most. I need to be the best. You are the best, at least in the Stormlands. Renly descends the steps, which is why I have news. Your father is holding a tourney, here, at Storm's End, in 2 months. To celebrate your 14th name day, lords from across the realm will attend, Tyrells, Tullys, even some Lannisters. Jon's stomach tightens. Lannisters? Just a few. Tywin won't come himself. Too proud. But Jaime will. And maybe Tyrion. Robert wants to show the realm that you're not hiding, that you're not afraid, that you're everything a prince should be, and if there's another assassination attempt, then we'll be ready. I'm tripling the guards. Every visitor will be searched, every servant vetted. And you, Renly taps Jon's sword. You'll be armed at all times, even at the feast, even at the tourney. Trust no one. Jon nods. I won't. 2 months pass in a blur of preparation. The castle is cleaned, repaired. Decorated pavilions are erected outside the walls for the visiting lords. Stands are built for the jousting lists. And Jon trains, every day, every night, pushing himself harder than ever. Because this tourney isn't just about celebration. It's about proving himself, showing the realm that he's worthy, that he's dangerous, that he deserves the crown. The stands are packed. Hundreds of lords and ladies, banners from every corner of the realm, Baratheon stags, Stark direwolves, Tully trout, Tyrell roses, even a few Lannister lions. At the high seat, Robert Baratheon. Fatter now, grayer, but still imposing. Beside him, Cersei, beautiful, cold, her green eyes scanning the crowd, calculating, always calculating. Joffrey sits beside his mother. 12 years old, golden hair, green eyes, sneering at everything, looking bored and superior. Jon watches from the pavilions. He's wearing armor, black and gold, Baratheon colors. But the design is unique, storm patterns etched into the steel, a wolf's head on the breastplate, a nod to his mother's house, though he doesn't know it. Renly appears beside him. Ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Good. Because you're not entering as Prince Jon. Not yet. I had armor made for you, a mystery knight. You'll compete anonymously, prove yourself without your name carrying you. Then, when you've won, you reveal yourself. Maximum impact. Jon stares. That's brilliant. I have my moments. Renly grins. Now go. Show them what the Storm Prince can do. Jon dons the mystery knight armor. Completely enclosed, no identifying marks except storm patterns. He mounts Storm, his warhorse. The great black destrier snorts and stamps, eager for battle. The herald calls the first match. Sir Loras Tyrell of Highgarden versus the Storm Knight. The crowd murmurs. Mystery knights always draw attention, speculation, excitement. Loras Tyrell rides onto the field. 16 years old, beautiful, skilled. The Knight of Flowers, he's won a dozen tourneys. He's a prodigy. A legend in the making. Jon rides to the opposite end of the lists. lowers his lance, focuses. Renly's voice echoes in his mind. Don't think. Just ride. Trust your training. Trust yourself. The flag drops. They charge. The world narrows. Just Jon. Just Loras. Just the thunder of hooves and the weight of the lance. Impact. Jon's lance strikes Loras's shield. Perfect. Center. The force lifts Loras from his saddle, throws him to the ground. The crowd gasps, then erupts, cheering, shouting. The Storm Knight just unhorsed the Knight of Flowers on the first pass. Loras rises, stunned. He bows to Jon, concedes, walks from the field with as much dignity as he can muster. Jon rides to the stands, bows to Robert, says nothing, rides back to the pavilions. Match after match, Jon dominates. He defeats knights from the Riverlands, the Vale, the Reach. Each time the crowd grows louder, more excited. Who is this Storm Knight? Where did he come from? Finally, the final match. Jon versus Jaime Lannister. Jaime is 31 years old, the finest swordsman in the Seven Kingdoms, Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, handsome, arrogant, untouchable. He rides onto the field in golden armor. The crowd roars. This is the match they've been waiting for. The Mystery Knight versus the Kingslayer. Robert leans forward in his seat. Cersei's face is unreadable. Joffrey looks eager, hoping to see the Mystery Knight humiliated. Jon and Jaime face each other across the lists. Jaime raises his lance in salute. Jon returns it. The flag drops. They charge. Jon knows he can't win. Not completely. Jaime is too good, too experienced. But he doesn't need to win. He just needs to score a hit, prove he belongs. They collide. Jon's lance strikes Jaime's shield. Not center, not perfect, but solid. Good. Jaime's lance strikes Jon's shoulder. The impact nearly throws Jon from the saddle. But he holds, grips Storm with his knees, stays mounted. They turn. Charge again. Second pass. Jon adjusts. Aims lower. Strikes Jaime's hip. The lance shatters. Splinters fly. Jaime's lance misses entirely. The crowd gasps. The Storm Knight scored a hit on Jaime Lannister. Third pass. Final pass. Jon knows Jaime will compensate. Will aim perfectly. Will end this. But Jon doesn't care. He's already proven his point. He's already shown he can compete with the best. They charge. Jaime's lance strikes Jon's chest. Dead center. The force throws Jon from the saddle. He hits the ground hard. Pain explodes through his body. The crowd roars. Jaime Lannister wins, as expected. But the Storm Knight scored a hit on Jaime Lannister. That's unprecedented for a Mystery Knight. Jon lies on the ground, breathing hard. Everything hurts. But he's grinning inside his helmet. He did it. He proved himself. Renly rushes onto the field, helps Jon stand. Whispers, time for the reveal. His dark hair spills out. His gray eyes scan the crowd. The herald's voice booms. The Storm Knight is Prince Jon Baratheon. Silence. Absolute silence. Then the crowd explodes, cheering, shouting, stomping their feet. Robert stands, beaming. That's my son. That's my boy. Her hands grip the armrests of her chair so hard her knuckles turn white. Joffrey looks like he's been slapped. That bastard. Silence, Cersei hisses. Not here. Not now. Jaime dismounts, approaches Jon, offers his hand. You fought well, Prince Jon. That hit on my hip. I didn't see it coming. You're a natural. Jon takes the hand, shakes it. Thank you, Sir Jaime. You're everything they say you are, and you're more than anyone expected. The realm thought you were just Robert's legitimized bastard, hiding in Storm's End, playing at being a prince. But you're not, are you? You're the real thing, a warrior, a threat. Not quite respect, not quite fear. Something in between. Jon bows to the stands, to Robert, to the assembled lords, then walks from the field behind him. He hears whispers, speculation, awe. Did you see him? Just 14. He beat Loras Tyrell, scored a hit on Jaime Lannister. The Storm Prince is no joke. Maybe Robert's right. Maybe this boy should be king. Jon doesn't smile, doesn't celebrate he's proven himself. But he knows what comes next. Cersei will be angrier than ever, more desperate, more dangerous. And the next assassination attempt won't be poison in wine. It'll be something worse. The feast is magnificent. Food, wine, music, dancing. Every lord in attendance celebrates toasts Jon's performance, praises his skill. Jon sits at the high table, beside Robert, across from Cersei and Joffrey. Robert is drunk, happy drunk. He claps Jon on the back repeatedly. You were magnificent. Did you see Loras's face? Priceless. And Jaime? Gods, I wish I could have seen the look under his helmet when you scored that hit. But Sir Jaime won, as he should have. He's the best. For now, give it a few years. You'll surpass him. I know it. Robert drinks deeply. You're everything I hoped you'd be, Jon. Everything Lyanna would have wanted. Strong, honorable, brave. You make me proud. Jon feels something warm in his chest. Robert doesn't say things like this often. Usually he's drunk and maudlin, talking about Lyanna like a ghost. But tonight he's clear-eyed, genuine. I'll keep training, keep improving. I won't let you down. I know you won't. Across the table, Cersei watches. Her face is a mask. Beautiful. Cold. But her eyes burn with hatred. Joffrey leans toward her, whispers, Mother, are you going to let this stand? He's just a bastard. He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't. Joffrey sulks but obeys. Later, when the feast winds down, a servant approaches Jon. My prince, a lord wishes to speak with you, privately, in the Godswood. Danger? Which lord? He didn't give a name, but he said it was urgent, about your safety. Jon considers, then nods. I'll go, but I'm bringing my sword. He walks to the Godswood. Storm's End doesn't have a heart tree. It's too far south. But there's a small garden, quiet. Secluded, a figure waits in the shadows, small, hooded. Jon's hand moves to his sword. The figure steps into the moonlight, removes the hood. Tyrion Lannister, the dwarf, the imp. Cersei's younger brother, but nothing like her. Prince Jon, thank you for coming. Jon doesn't relax. What do you want? To warn you. My sister is planning something, another attempt on your life, more sophisticated than the last. I don't know the details. She keeps me out of her schemes. But I know the signs, the whispered conversations, the hired men disappearing into the night. Something is coming. Why tell me you're a Lannister? I'm a Lannister in name only. Cersei hates me, always has. Blames me for our mother's death. I was born, she died. Simple as that. Tyrion's voice is bitter. I have no love for my sister, and I have no desire to see a 14-year-old boy murdered because he threatens her ambitions. Jon studies him. Tyrion's eyes are sharp, intelligent, sad. There's truth in them. What should I do? Not servants? Not guards? Not even lords who swear loyalty. Cersei has gold, influence. She can buy anyone, and she will. To protect Joffrey, to secure the throne for her son. Why does she hate me so much? I've never done anything to her. You exist. That's enough. You're Robert's firstborn, his acknowledged heir. As long as you're alive, Joffrey will always be second. And Cersei can't accept that. Won't accept that. She'll kill you or die trying. Jon's jaw clenches. Then let her try. I've survived one assassination. I'll survive the next. I hope you're right, because I'd rather see you on the throne than Joffrey. He's cruel, sadistic, completely unsuited to rule. You, on the other hand, Tyrion looks at him appraisingly. You have potential. You could be a good king, maybe even a great one. Don't waste that by dying young. I won't, I promise. Tyrion nods. Good luck, Prince Jon. You're going to need it. He disappears into the shadows. Jon stands alone in the Godswood, thinking. Cersei won't stop. Tyrion confirmed it. Another attempt is coming. Worse than poison. Worse than hired assassins. Jon needs to be ready, needs to be smarter, faster, stronger. Because the Game of Thrones is accelerating. And one way or another, it will end in blood. Jon is 15 years old. He stands on the deck of a warship, the flagship of the Stormlander fleet. Around him, 30 ships, a small fleet, but powerful. Renly stands beside him. Iron Island's raiders, Euron Greyjoy's men. They've been harassing the coast for weeks, burning villages, taking salt wives. Robert called the banners, were to drive them back to Pike. Jon grips his sword. How many ships do they have? 20, maybe 30, but they're fast. Long ships built for raiding, not for open battle. The fleet sails north, along the coast, toward the reported position of the Ironborn raiders. They find them 2 days later, 30 longships, black sails, kraken sigils, pillaging a coastal village. Renly gives the order. Engage! The Stormlander fleet attacks. Warships versus longships. The Ironborn are fast, but the Stormlands ships are stronger, heavier, built to ram and board. Jon's ship collides with an Ironborn longship. The impact throws men to the deck. Jon is first across the gap, sword in hand, roaring. An Ironborn reaver charges him, axe raised. Jon parries, counterstrikes. His blade takes the man's head off in one swing. Another reaver. Another. Jon fights like a demon. Everything Stannis taught him. Everything Ser Cordray drilled into him. All of it coming together in a symphony of violence. He's not thinking, just moving, reacting, surviving. Around him the battle rages. Stormlander knights boarding Ironborn ships. Steel on steel, blood on wood. Screams and curses and the crash of waves. Jon finds himself facing 3 reavers, all bigger than him, all older, all experienced. He doesn't hesitate. Attacks first. His sword is a blur. He cuts down the first reaver, wounds the second, disarms the third. The third reaver yields. Jon lets him live. Takes him prisoner. The battle lasts 2 hours. When it's over, 20 Ironborn ships are sinking or captured. The rest have fled. The Stormlander fleet has won. Jon stands on the deck, covered in blood. Not all of it his own. Breathing hard. Alive. Renly approaches, claps him on the shoulder. You fought like Robert at the Trident, like a demon. The men are calling you the Stormwolf. Fitting. I just did what I had to do. You did more than that. You led. You inspired. You showed them what a prince looks like in battle. Renly's voice is serious. Robert will hear about this. The whole realm will. You're not just a tourney knight anymore. You're a warrior. Proven in real combat. That matters. Jon nods, but his mind is elsewhere. Because during the battle he saw someone, on the shore, watching. A man, lean, northern clothes, gray eyes, Eddard Stark, Lord of Winterfell. The man who should have raised him. The man who gave him to Robert instead. Jon's uncle. Though Jon doesn't know the full truth. After the battle, the fleet returns to shore. The coastal village is secured. The survivors are tended to. And Ned Stark is there, waiting. Robert is there too. He came south to oversee the campaign, to lead the forces against the Ironborn. Jon approaches, bows to both men. Your Grace. Lord Stark, Robert grins. Jon, I heard you were magnificent. First over the side, cut down 5 men, took prisoners instead of killing everyone. You're learning strategy, not just butchery. Good. Thank you, Father. Ned looks at Jon, really looks at him. And Jon sees something in those gray eyes, something like pain, like grief, like longing. Prince Jon, you've grown. The last time I saw you, you were a babe in Lyanna's arms at the Tower of Joy. Ned's voice is rough. You look like her. You have her eyes, her face. Everything about you is her. Jon doesn't know what to say. Lyanna, his mother, the ghost that haunts every conversation, every moment of his life. I wish I could have known her. She would have loved you. More than anything, Ned stops. Can't continue. The emotion is too much. Robert fills the silence. Ned rode south to help with the Ironborn. Brought northern forces. We're going to push Euron back to the Iron Islands. Make sure he never raids the mainland again. I want to help, Jon says. I want to fight. Prove myself. You've already proven yourself, Robert says. But yes, you'll fight. Beside me, beside Ned, the 3 of us together, like it should have been from the start. They make camp, plan the next assault. And that night, around the fire, Jon sits with Robert and Ned. They drink, tell stories, laugh. For the first time in Jon's life, he feels like he's part of something, a family. Not just a prince, not just a tool, but a son, a nephew, someone who belongs. But then Robert gets drunk, really drunk, and his tongue loosens. Lyanna, gods, Lyanna. I loved her so much. I would have done anything for her, would have given her the world. And Rhaegar, that dragon bastard, he took her, kidnapped her, raped her, got her with child, and killed her. And he trails off, looks at Jon. And for a moment Jon sees something in Robert's eyes. Guilt, knowledge, a secret. And you have her son, Ned says quickly. Firmly, you have Jon, Lyanna's legacy, her blood. That's what matters. Not the past, not Rhaegar, just Jon. Robert nods. Right, Jon. My son, the best thing to come out of that whole nightmare. But Jon's mind is racing. Something about the way Robert looked at him, the way they're both suddenly very careful with their words. Rhaegar got her with child, and I have Jon, Lyanna's son. The pieces start to come together. Slowly, terrifyingly. Jon stands. I need some air into the darkness, his heart pounding. He thinks about everything. Every story, every detail, every inconsistency. Robert and Lyanna were betrothed, but never married. Robert claims they wed in secret, but no witnesses, no proof. Lyanna disappeared with Rhaegar. Robert says she was kidnapped, but what if she wasn't? Lyanna died in childbirth, at the Tower of Joy, in Dorne, far from Robert, far from any Baratheon, and Jon has gray eyes, stark eyes. But no one ever mentions his father's features. No one ever says you have Robert's nose or you have Robert's jaw. Only Lyanna, and if Lyanna was with Rhaegar when Jon was born, Jon's stomach drops. No, it can't be. But the more he thinks about it, the more sense it makes. The reason Stannis was so cold. The reason Robert visits but never really claims him. The reason Cersei wants him dead, not because he's Robert's heir, but because he's not Robert's son at all. He's Rhaegar's son, the last Targaryen, the dragon spawn, and Robert is raising him as a Baratheon to hide the truth, to protect him, to keep him alive. Jon leans against a tree, breathing hard. His whole world is collapsing. Everything he thought he knew is a lie. He's not a Baratheon. He's not Robert's son. He's the son of the man Robert hated most in the world. And Robert knows, has always known, and he loved Lyanna enough to raise her son anyway. Jon doesn't know whether to scream or cry or laugh, so he just stands there, in the darkness, alone with the truth that will destroy everything if it ever comes out. Months have passed since the Ironborn raids. Jon is back at Storm's End, but Robert has summoned him, urgently. Jon rides to King's Landing with an escort, 50 Stormlander knights. He's never been to the capital before. It's massive. Dirty, stinking, 500,000 people crammed into a city built for far fewer. The Red Keep looms above it all. Red stone, iron spikes, the seat of kings. Jon is escorted to the throne room. It's empty except for Robert. And the Iron Throne, Robert sits on it, but he looks wrong. Older, sicker, grayer, like he's aged 10 years in the last few months. Jon, thank you for coming. Father, what's wrong? You look dying? I am. The maesters say my liver is failing. Too much wine, too much food, too much everything. Robert's laugh is bitter. I have maybe a year, maybe less, so we need to talk. About the future, about the throne, about you. Jon's throat tightens. Father, listen, please. I don't have much time, and there's something I need to say. Robert stands, descends the steps, stands face to face with Jon. You're not my son. Jon's world stops. I know. I figured it out during the Ironborn campaign. You're Rhaegar's. Robert's eyes widen. How? You were drunk. You said things, and I started thinking, putting pieces together. It wasn't hard. Jon's voice is steady, calmer than he feels. You claimed me as yours to protect me, to save me from being killed as a Targaryen, to honor Lyanna, because you loved her, and you raised me, gave me everything, made me a prince, even though I'm the son of the man you hated most. Robert's face crumples. Jon, I'm sorry, I should have told you, should have been honest. But I was afraid you'd hate me, afraid you'd reject everything I gave you, afraid I don't hate you. Jon's eyes are wet. You're not my father by blood, but you are my father by choice. You raised me, protected me, loved me. That matters more than blood ever could. Robert pulls Jon into a hug, hard, desperate. Thank you. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for being you. They stand there, king and prince, father and son, not by blood, but by something deeper. Finally, Robert pulls back. I'm abdicating today. Right now, I'm stepping down from the throne, and I'm naming you my heir, Jon Baratheon, King of the Seven Kingdoms. Jon stares. What? No. Father, you can't. I can and I will. I'm dying, Jon, and I won't let this realm fall to Cersei and Joffrey. I won't let the Lannisters take the throne. You're young, you're strong, you're everything this realm needs, and I'm going to make sure you get it. The realm won't accept me. I'm 15. I'm not even really a Baratheon. You are a Baratheon. I claimed you. I raised you. I'm making you my legal heir through royal decree, and anyone who questions it can fight me, or you, or both. Robert's voice is steel. I'm calling a great council. Every major lord, they'll witness the abdication, the coronation, the transfer of power, and they'll accept it, because the alternative is civil war, and no one wants that. Jon's mind races. King, him, at 15, it's madness. But looking at Robert, dying, desperate, determined, Jon knows he can't refuse. If I do this, if I become king, will you help me, guide me, at least until I die? Yes. Every day I have left, I'll be your hand, your advisor, your father, and when I'm gone, you'll have Ned, Renly, good men who'll help you rule. Robert smiles. You can do this, Jon. You're Lyanna's son. You have her strength, her fire, her goodness. You'll be a better king than I ever was. Then I'll do it. I'll take the throne for you, for Lyanna, for the realm. Good. Now come on. We have a coronation to plan, and a queen to deal with. Cersei, she'll object, violently. She'll claim Joffrey is the rightful heir. She'll try to rally the Lannisters. But she won't win, because the North is with you. The Stormlands, the Vale, the Riverlands. You have the numbers, the support, the legitimacy. Robert's eyes are hard, and if she tries anything, if she so much as threatens you, I'll have her head. Heir or not, queen or not, I'm still king for now, and I protect my son. They walk through the Red Keep. Servants scatter, whispers spread. Something is happening, something big. In the throne room, lords begin to gather, summoned by Robert's command. Ned Stark, Renly Baratheon, lords from the Crownlands and Stormlands, and Cersei, with Joffrey at her side. Robert climbs the Iron Throne one last time, looks out at the assembled lords. My ladies, I have ruled this realm for 15 years. I won the throne through conquest, through war, through blood, and now I'm giving it up. Gasps, shouts, disbelief. I'm dying. My body is failing, and I will not let this realm fall into chaos when I'm gone. So I'm abdicating. Today, now, and I'm naming my heir, my chosen successor. He gestures to Jon Baratheon, my firstborn son, proven in battle, proven in tourneys, proven in character. He will be king after me. King Jon, first of his name. This is madness. Joffrey is your son, your true-born son by your queen. He is the heir. Not this bastard. Jon is not a bastard. He is my acknowledged son. Legitimized, claimed, and I'm the king. I decide who inherits, not you. The realm will never accept this. The Lannisters will never accept this. My father, your father can go fuck himself, along with you and every other Lannister who thinks they can dictate terms to me. Robert's roar shakes the room. I am Robert Baratheon. I won this throne, and I'm giving it to the person I choose. And I choose Jon. He removes his crown, descends the steps, places it on Jon's head. It's too big. It slips down over Jon's ears, just like it did years ago. But Jon doesn't care. He stands tall, meets the eyes of every lord in the room. I accept this crown, this burden, this responsibility, and I swear to you, all of you, that I will rule with justice, with mercy, with wisdom. I will protect the realm, defend the weak, uphold the law, and I will be the king my father believes I can be. Silence. Then slowly, lords begin to kneel. Ned Stark kneels first. The North pledges its loyalty to King Jon, now and always. Crownlands, Riverlands, Vale. Cersei remains standing, Joffrey beside her, both furious, both humiliated. Robert looks at them. Kneel, or leave. Those are your options. Her hands clench, but she knows she's beaten, for now. She kneels, slowly, reluctantly. Joffrey follows. Robert smiles. Good. Now rise, all of you, and witness. Jon Baratheon is king of the Seven Kingdoms, and anyone who challenges that answers to me while I still draw breath. The lords rise, applause, cheers, some genuine, some forced, but it doesn't matter, it's done. Jon is king. At 15 years old, the bastard who wasn't a bastard, the Baratheon who's really a Targaryen, the Stormwolf, and the realm will never be the same. Robert Baratheon is dead. He died peacefully in his sleep. His liver finally gave out. He was 39 years old. Jon stands in the sept, looking at Robert's body, dressed in fine clothes, hands folded over his chest, at peace. "Thank you," Jon whispers, "for everything, for saving me, for raising me, for making me who I am. I'll make you proud, I swear it." The funeral is massive. Thousands attend. Lords from across the realm, commoners lining the streets, everyone mourning the demon of the trident, the warrior king, the man who won the throne and held it for 15 years. After the funeral, Jon sits the Iron Throne, officially, as King Jon I Baratheon. Ned Stark is his hand, Renly is Master of Laws, Barristan Selmy is Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, and Cersei has been exiled, sent to Casterly Rock with Joffrey and her other children. Stripped of her title as queen, removed from power, she went quietly. But Jon knows it's not over. The Lannisters will plot, will scheme, will try to take back what they've lost. But Jon is ready. He spent his whole life preparing for this, training, learning, surviving. He's the Storm Wolf, the Winter King, the boy who became a prince who became a king. And he will rule, for Robert, for Lyanna, for the realm, no matter what it costs. WNTRFL 300 AC. Jon stands in the Godswood, looking at the heart tree. The carved face watches him with red eyes. Ned Stark stands beside him. "Do you ever wonder about what could have been if I'd raised you instead of Robert? Robert gave me everything, a name, a future, a kingdom. He gave you a lie, a mask. The truth is, you're not a Baratheon, Jon. You're a Targaryen. And someday that truth will come out. And when it does, I'll deal with it. But for now, I'm King Jon Baratheon, and I'm going to do everything I can to be worthy of that name, to honor Robert's memory, to protect the realm. Sad but proud. Lyanna would be proud of you. Wherever she is, she'd see the man you've become, and she'd love you so much. I wish I could have known her. She's with you, in your eyes, your face, your courage. She never left you, Jon, and she never will." They stand in silence. The snow falls softly through the red leaves, and far to the east, across the narrow sea, a silver-haired woman with 3 dragons receives a raven. Jon Baratheon sits the Iron Throne, the usurper's chosen heir, the pretender king. But I know the truth. Varys told me. Jon is no Baratheon. He's Rhaegar's son, my nephew, the last male Targaryen, and he's sitting on my throne. Daenerys Stormborn crushes the raven scroll in her fist. "Prepare the ships. We sail for Westeros. I'm taking back what's mine." With fire and blood, that is a story for another time. Let us know what you'd like to see next. The end.